I'm Debbie Fischetti.
And I'm Megan Rothschild.
Welcome to Skin Talk, brought to you by the Melanoma Education Foundation, a show focused on melanoma awareness and the true facts of what skin cancer really is. On today's show, we have two special guests to discuss how melanoma has affected their lives and the lives around them.
An unfortunate situation that has been happening to too many of us these days.
So don't go anywhere. We have some exciting news to share with you concerning some new drugs that have really been kicking melanoma, so you don't want to miss it.
And of course, my tip of the week, so stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, the Melanoma Education Foundation has been doing some really phenomenal fundraising events, which is great, because obviously that money helps us to be able to support our cause and get into more schools and educate not only students but adults and everybody that we can. There's one particular event that stands out. It's from the McCarthy family out in Somerville, Massachusetts, who lost their daughter about a year ago.
Oh my
who was
goodness. I think I remember this story.
Yeah, she was 35 years old and left behind a 2-year-old.
Yes, I remember you telling me about this.
So,
It's a horrible story.
Just a beautiful girl. They had taken the melanoma, and unfortunately it was misdiagnosed, and it grew back, and it just overcame her. So this family, obviously so taken by it, the town so taken by it, put on an awesome event. It's a baseball tournament, and I just want to say thank you to the McCarthy family for just being so supportive to the Melanoma Education Foundation, and also Stacy Manasini, who's from Malden, and she is also a wonderful supporter of the Melanoma Education Foundation. And without these two families, Melanoma Education Foundation wouldn't be in the position that we are now, being in over 1,000 schools. So thank you to them.
That's wonderful.
For that. Yeah, so that's
news.
sort of exciting. That's been happening with that.
Yeah.
And we've had our calendar raffle that we do every May and every June. And since that has passed, we raised just a little over $20,000, which is an all-time high for a foundation who does it.
Hey, you guys do that every year.
Like I said, this is an all-time high for the Melanoma Education Foundation to have reached over $20,000 from this calendar raffle event.
That's wonderful.
So our, MEF's personal mission is, since we're in 1,000 schools now, is to, by next year, double that. And with this money raised, we will have the resources to be able to do that.
That's wonderful.
So, and that's the Skin Check program. Well, yeah, and all those who are not aware, the Skin Check program is a homework sheets, handouts, curriculum-based information that's submitted to every middle school and every high school. There is a process, because we don't want to just send it. We do contact the teacher, and once they agree to accept this program and facilitate it into their already curriculum, the students really get an impact of the information. So
that's great.
So yeah, so it's very exciting, and it's little steps at a time, but it's we're doing it.
Good.
So tell me about Surviving Skin. What's new? What's been going on?
Well, actually, I've been very busy. I did this interview with this online website called howtobearedhead.com. And it was so awesome. When they contacted me, I just thought, this is so cool, because I absolutely hated being a redhead for the first, 18 years of my life. I just despised it, and now I've learned to embrace it through, everything that I've been through, and surviving the cancer. And one of the questions that they asked me was, has being a redhead shaped in any way who you are? And I'm like, honestly, it's shaped like 95% of who I am, because with red hair comes the fair skin. With the fair skin came the desire to tan, came the cancer, and that's really become my mission. So it was just a great experience. I got to go out to Boston. I got to get hair and makeup done.
Oh, that's always fun.
I felt very famous for the day, but
oh, cool.
It was awesome, and it's definitely a really, really neat website.
So, there's obviously this information will be on the website.
Yes.
So on our next show, I want to, connect with you again, so that we can give our viewers where to go and see you and all the information about that.
We can put it on skintalk.org. You can check that out, and we'll have a link to the site.
Yeah, because there's many, people out there, whether it's blondes, fair skin, redheads, and fair skin. And, it's interesting that you mentioned that, has, being a redhead, which is, what you're born with. We're born with the skin that we have.
Exactly.
And that's been very difficult for so many of us, I
You
say
never
young
like
women,
what you have.
No.
Ever.
I mean, I always wanted curly hair. That just never happened. You know, so it's like we spent all those years perming.
Right, exactly.
You know, or the same thing
I wanted the darker skin,
Right.
so I spent years tanning.
Right.
It's so funny because I always, talk to women about they're dyeing their hair or they're, they want a different dress size.
Getting fake
and
nails, getting fake
nails.
eyelashes.
It's endless. So
Yes, a lot of other fake
yeah.
things that you could do now with technology.
Exactly, and so it was just great because this website is all about embracing, who you are
Right.
and
going
tips.
with the, was it, be comfortable with the skin,
The
that
skin
you're
you're in. Yes,
and
exactly.
I love that saying because it is very difficult to embrace, and it's very difficult to tell somebody, especially somebody who has a little bit of a stubborn streak like myself, I'll admit it, that it's like you have something in your head, you want to do something, or you want to feel a certain way, you want
Right.
to look a certain way. Nothing anybody says is going
Right.
to make you change that.
No matter how pretty they tell you are, or
Right.
how great everything is.
Until you get to the point where something bad happens,
Right.
or something dramatic happens, or and that's what we're here to do,
Right.
to try to let people not get to that point and let them realize that, you know what, embrace it. This is what God gave you.
Right.
You are beautiful.
Protect it.
Protect it, embellish it. And there are other safer alternatives to get the feeling that you're trying to acquire.
Right.
But I think that's awesome. I
Yeah.
can't wait to
It was a
see the
good time.
website.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it to you, and we'll link it on skintalk.org as well.
Okay, cool, awesome.
So don't go anywhere. We have some shocking and revealing photos to share with you concerning the true effects of what sun damage, skin cancer, and melanoma can do.
Hi, I'm Debbie Fischetti,
And I'm Megan Rothschild.
and we're from Skin Talk, a new innovative show that teaches you about melanoma awareness, truly the focus on early detection and early prevention of melanoma.
And what most people don't know is that sun damage can actually cause wrinkling as well. So by watching Skin Talk, you can learn great skincare tips on keeping your skin youthful and beautiful.
Have you been watching?
Well, you should be. Visit skintalk.org for more information. Welcome back. Debbie, you were telling me earlier, I think this is something really important to share with the viewers about
It's exciting.
this broadcast about the new drug. So I was wondering if you could share that again.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Actually, a few weeks ago, the Chronicle broadcast, there was an episode that they had on melanoma featuring Dr. Keith Flattery, and he is from the Mass General Hospital out in Boston,
Yep.
right? And he is directing a clinical trial study of a combination of 2 experimental drugs, and the results have been amazing, and they're for stage 4 patients. And it can only work
Wow.
on stage 4 patients because they have usually what, obviously different stages of
Right.
melanoma, there's different reactions to your body that are happening, or different what's the word I'm looking for, cells, or different
Right.
reactions to different things. I'm not, a doctor, so, but I'm only going by what I read. So, so anyway, there's been amazing results for some stage 4 patients who have a genetic BRAF, B-R-A-F, mutation. And one of the patients he's on trial, his name is John Murphy, and he was literally on his deathbed.
Oh my
I mean, they
gosh.
were giving him no hope. So he's like, well,
Why not
it can't
try
hurt.
this? Right.
Exactly, I'll try anything, typically. So what he did, and he's from Colorado, and he tried the drug, and once they obviously gave him the drug, it's been like a couple of months that they monitor him.
Right.
And I just got an email from him because we got a chance to
corresponding.
meet him, and he
Right.
came to one of the Melanoma Education Foundation's board meetings that we
wonderful.
do quarterly, and he just sent me an email saying that he was mountain climbing with his wife.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Before the break, we had talked a little bit about showing some photos
Yeah.
of scars. And, to tie in with what we're talking about, again, with melanoma being the forgotten cancer, the cancer that kind of gets pushed aside, I think it's important to show some of the after effects. These pictures are a little bit graphic. So, got small kids in the room, or it's something that you don't want to look at, now may be a good time to turn the channel. But this first picture is of my scar. Happy to show it. You can see on the abdomen that it's a sizable scar. This is when I was first post-diagnosed. I had to go in and have the major surgery where they did the large skin excision. 70 plus stitches after I came out of that. Lymph nodes removed, all of that.
awful.
So,
That's
that's one of the many things, and I'll never forget, that was on the cover of a newspaper that I was writing for, and I had it in my back seat as I did a story on my experience, and one of my friends got in the car and she picked it up and went, ooh, and then she went, oh my gosh, is this you? And I said, yeah, and like she thought I didn't hear her say the ew part, but that was her reaction. It was like this, oh, what's that? You know, because it was just this purple, awful scar.
Now let me ask you, because I'm sure people have asked you this before, and I don't know if I personally ever asked you. Obviously, you know, did the tanning and stuff like that because, you know, hey, fair skin and all that, and we talked about that. Now that you had to go through this process, what was going through your head? Like, what were you thinking? Like, oh my God, what did I do that for? Or, you know, like, not to put words in your mouth,
you know, the first thing that popped into my head was you did it to yourself, which you can imagine. Obviously, getting a cancer diagnosis is horrible enough, but then to blame yourself and to know that your behavior had
really
caused
bad.
it was extremely emotionally
Now, when you were doing
difficult.
the tanning, did you know as a young person that you can get melanoma?
I mean, people had said to me, can't you get skin cancer from that? Can't you get premature wrinkles? And it was like you were saying, invincible. It's not going to happen to me. I'm living for the now. I like it now. It's working now.
It's making me
I'll
feel
worry
good
about
now,
it when it
sure.
gets there. But I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go back and, you know, not go through
Because you
this
wouldn't
again.
be who you were today.
Exactly.
You know, you're beautiful. You're a spokesperson. You've made such an impact in the melanoma world, you know, on so many levels, from Boston to New York to Cosmo to so much presence. So, you know, I always think
Happened
that...
for a reason, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, out of something bad, something great came. You know, I wouldn't have a great co-host. We wouldn't have this great show.
Right.
So, I mean, not to make light of it, but the point is you were a survivor.
Right.
And thank God you were one of the blessed ones.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, there are many out there who weren't so blessed.
Well, and this next picture of Stacy, tell us a little bit about Stacy. And
Stacy Ciniello is a beautiful person, very determined, very passionate about melanoma awareness. And she, you know, she has it on her back. She had melanoma 4 times.
Oh my gosh.
And each time it was a bigger scar, a deeper tissue that needed to be removed. But she's a trooper, and she's a mom, and she has 2 young children, and she's been dealing with this for a couple of years. She is a survivor. She is, you know, doing great now, and thankfully she is one of the blessed ones.
Board of the
She is
MEF?
actually, yes, I'm very, very proud and happy to say that she is, you know, one of the Melanoma Education Foundation board members, and we are very proud and very honored to have such a strong superwoman of a person and a great survivor.
That's great.
Carrie McCarthy, which is another photo that you'll see, she wasn't one of the blessed ones, unfortunately. And this poor girl was 35, and we know we've talked about her before. You know, had a 2-year-old that she left behind, and a melanoma was on her leg, which was removed, but misdiagnosed, and was not tested, and it grew back, and by the time it grew back and she got it taken care of, she was pregnant. And there was not much that could be done as far as drugs or
Right,
surgery.
because you can't go through a lot of that treatment when you're expecting.
No.
So.
And when she had the baby, a beautiful baby boy, and it just consumed her leg. It, as you could see in the photo, it tripled in size, and within 4 months, this tiny mole that started growing on her back on her leg, within 4 months, as you can see from the picture, that's a melanoma.
Wow.
It consumed her and unfortunately took her life. Yeah.
Wow.
So this are the kind of things that don't need to happen.
Exactly.
You know, and that's where it's like in this poor girl's situation, it wasn't, you know, something that she didn't take care of. She went to the doctor
and
but
did what she was supposed to.
But that's where I feel that we need to empower ourselves.
Exactly.
And make sure that the doctors that we are seeing are very educated, and that if there's something in our gut that just doesn't seem right, because we know our body better than anybody else.
Right.
To do something about it and tell the doctor, I don't like this. This needs to be done.
Well, that's the key. They need
Take
to listen
off.
when you say that, because you know they can be as educated as anybody, and you know be the most educated person in the world. But when you go in and you say, no, I don't care if you think that looks okay. I want it taken off. That's you know they have to be willing to do it.
Right.
So I
So you
think that's
definitely
important.
need to. It's on so many levels. You need to be educated. You know, and again, I kudos to the doctors and stuff that are out there, but nobody is perfect.
Right.
You know, we're only human, and that's why it's like you really have to entrust yourself and know, you know, what a melanoma looks like. Know that you're the only one that's going to know if it changed.
Right.
They are not.
Exactly.
So yeah, with that said,
We have some special guests.
yeah, we
coming
have
up on
some
the show.
special guests that have gone through some traumatic things and could really be encouraging to our studio audience and those at home. That could really be a great impact to what we do moving forward. So definitely stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this.
And we are back with our guests. I want to welcome Connie Cascaran and Mary Thomas here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So lovely to have guests here.
I know.
So Connie, I wanted to start with you. Would you mind sharing your story a little bit with us?
Sure. Where do I start? The beginning, I guess.
I guess.
Your mom.
My mom. My mom, Sharon Elizabeth Mumley, she passed away, called back home, September 10th of 2006.
Oh.
She was diagnosed with melanoma, stage 3, 18 months prior.
Wow.
And prior to that, actually, she had a couple of things removed, and so she kept going back repeatedly and checking.
So she was being very
Yes,
proactive about it.
She was.
Now, the thing-
Up until that point,
Right.
Near that point, she was.
Now, the things that she had removed, were they biopsied and they came back?
Yes, as far as I know, they came back and everything, they thought they were all set. They were,
Wow.
thought they were okay. And then she noticed another one on her arm. And she went to get that one taken out, and next thing you know, they said, well, we're going to have to take out more of it and more of it.
Do a larger excision. And,
Exactly.
Wow.
And then when they sent it away, that's when they found out that it actually had spread to her lymph nodes.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was larger than they thought. So then she began the process, and 18 months was how the duration. And
From the time they took it?
right. She did the interferon. She went out. She did actually some type of treatment. I'm not really quite too sure on the name of it, but it was something to the effect of where they take a laser because it was in her head. So when they scanned her, they said, well, we're going to zap it, and we feel positive that this will help. But when they put the helmet on her to scan it, that's when they found that she had 6 more.
Oh my gosh.
And at that point, they said, it's not worth it.
Wow.
And this is actually a lot of information that I didn't know at the time. I really didn't inquire too much. She really was a very positive
She didn't want to worry
woman.
you, I'm sure.
Right. And
Exactly.
she was really great. She was a trooper, and she was just an angel here. And
She's
so
like a
she
good
was really
role model for you.
positive, and she. So I didn't know a lot of information.
Right.
Something I regret. And I found a lot of this out from my stepfather, Gary, who was by her side up until the end. And yes. Anyway.
Now, when they removed the things, did they remove things from her arm previous?
They did. They removed a couple of things in different places.
So not that particular spot?
No, I honestly can't recall. I
Right.
believe that it was in the general vicinity, though. It was several different arms. My mom was a very fair redhead, and very fair.
Because I
And-
almost, wonder, sometimes.
If they had taken something and perhaps it was misdiagnosed.
Yeah,
or-
because that's
right.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened with Kerry,
Right.
and that's what happened. It just seems like it's the same story, that we hear, which is so sad.
Right.
That it's and not that they're not being proactive about it. They're going and they're getting things done.
I thought about that, and
Where's the papers being, the
Right.
dust being underneath the rug?
Right.
What's happening? We're imperfect. We're only human. Doctors only human. I can't stress that enough.
Right.
But I almost try to think, well, how could that be preventative? How could we help with knowledge and stuff moving forward?
Right.
That not happen.
Doesn't have to happen.
So, Mary, how, talking to, Connie and different things that she's gotten removed, I know with your dad, he actually has stage 4 melanoma right now, and I know that must be extremely hard for you to be coping with. How has that, affected you? Have you gone to the dermatologist and have had things
Yes, I
removed?
have, and now I'm more aware of my body and what's on it, and I'm going to make annual appointments to get checked out.
Right.
Because I'm very fair-skinned too.
Well, and for viewers who may not know, family history,
Yeah.
plays a huge part, for both of
Genetics.
you, and genetics, and, once a family member has had it, you are at a greater risk to get it again, so it's good to hear that you're
Right.
being
And
proactive
your
about it.
husband, Brent, he's gone.
He's gone too. His
Recently,
father
and-
also had melanoma.
Oh,
So
wow.
he's at a high risk too. And he actually had a mole removed on his eyebrow.
Oh my gosh.
But everything's...
Everything's okay, yeah.
And
But I
now-
think we're just, both of us are more aware
Well,
now
Right.
how
to get checked and
crazy is that? Your dad, who's currently going through stage 4 melanoma,
Yes.
and your father-in-law, who's had melanoma. So how is your dad doing? I mean, he's on a new drug now.
He's hanging in there. I mean, he has good and bad days, but I think he's very positive, and I really believe that's what's keeping him here, because he's
Right.
had it for over a year now.
Wow.
And he has such a positive attitude, and he just keeps fighting. So
I'd like to ask both of you, what, if you could talk, if there would be a message that you would share through your experience and through the things that you've dealt with, what's something that you could share to viewers, or maybe to your kids when they get older, other family members or friends? What's something you always tell people from your experience?
I just realize, not to take life for granted, because cancer doesn't run in my family, and I never expected my father to get sick.
Right. So you have to appreciate every day, day
Yep.
by day, right? What about you, Connie?
Well, I'd have to say that I'm not one to really live by regrets. And if I had any regrets, it was that I was in denial and I wasted time when I should have not wasted time.
Right.
And one thing that I actually have, and it's just not complete, is you can get them the question and answer books that basically getting to know your family or your
Right.
mom or her favorite, song growing up or
Right,
her
right.
favorite memory or those things. Those are the things. She still was here that I would know. I mean, she was
Right.
only 56, and
Wow.
Yeah.
so it was young. And I wish I had that time, and I wish I never
Right.
denied that what was going to happen did happen. But she kept her faith with her, and she had a lot of friends and family that loved her, and she's a devout Christian, and it was really nice to have people just there by her side and praying for her.
Right.
Well, what is it that you feel that has gotten you, if there could be one thing that you could say, I mean, I know you're going through a very traumatic time right now, and, going through what you've gone through, is there one thing that you could say, this is what pulled me through, this is what gave me the strength to wake up every day and
Keep going.
keep going and be determined?
Honestly, I take it day by day, and I know that my dad doesn't want to see me in pain.
Right.
And
you have to
I
be
know
strong for
I
other
have to be
people.
strong for him,
Yeah.
and I want him to be strong.
That's a great way to
So-
look at it, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's so important. I just want to thank you guys so much for being here and
Thank you
sharing
for
your
having
story.
us.
I mean,
Thank you.
it's very moving, and hopefully the viewers at home think the same thing. And it's just,
Oh, I'm sure they will.
It's so incredible that you're willing to share your story and talk about it. So.
And I know it was hard, and I really applaud you for your strength, not just being here today and sharing your experiences with everybody out there, but just the strength that you have to survive and to keep on going and to be strong and not let it affect your life in a negative way,
Right.
but use it as a positive source towards your family and to those others who could need it. I know you're both great supporters of the Melanoma Education Foundation. You both jumped right in, when the need was there to help and volunteer, and we thank you for that. So,
Thank you, ladies.
yes.
so much.
Anytime.
It's great to have you. So stay tuned. We're going to actually have my tip of the week coming up next.
Welcome back. We're going to have Megan's tip of the week.
Yes.
I'm excited because I never know what it is, honestly.
I always surprise you.
I know, I love that.
Well, my tip of the week actually comes from a viewer email this week.
Oh, awesome.
And I get this question a lot when I go out and I speak. A lot of times people will come up to me and say, okay, well, I want to wear sunscreen now after hearing your story, but I'm really worried about the toxic chemicals that are in sunscreen.
I get that
a lot
tip.
of, a lot of people hear
I don't
about
know if it's an
this and-
excuse sometimes for some people,
Oh, I'm
because when
sure.
I'm out there speaking to, they're like, my skin is sensitive.
Yes, I get a lot of that.
And
I can't wear anything.
I don't want to put it, I don't want to die of skin cancer, but then I don't want to compound it and die, and maybe I'm saving myself from skin cancer,
Right.
but I'm going to die from something else because of all the toxic
Because of all the
chemicals.
toxics,
Right,
yes.
and nowadays a lot of people are going green and, being more earthy, crunchy, which I'm so for, and I
Right.
think that's awesome. So,
Right.
yeah, so...
No, people are concerned about it. And
No,
this,
it should be.
This email actually comes from a gentleman named Jeff from Chicopee.
Oh, cool.
So he wanted to know, and again, I get this question all the time, how can I find out what type of toxins are in my sunscreen? How can I be safe about the sunscreen that I choose?
Okay.
And to that, I have two answers. The first is if you go to cosmeticdatabase.com, which will be linked from our website, skintalk.org.
Yes, so check after our show.
Yes, you can
They'll be
actually
posted.
go on there and you can plug in your product and it'll pull up the toxic chemicals and it'll
Oh,
give you a
cool.
rating. So there's a rating scale. You want all the chemicals or all the ingredients that are in your sunscreen to be really like a 2 or below, like a 2, 1, or 0.
Okay.
3, maybe okay in moderation, but anything above a 3, you really want to stay clear of. Or so they say. The Environmental Working Group is the organization that really kind of backs this website.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they, talk all about how there's toxic chemicals in certain products, and this goes for makeups. This can be,
Oh, that's
you can, put your lotion, just your regular daily body lotion, your sunscreen, your lip gloss, your eyeshadow, anything that has
That you could-
an ingredient that you can apply to your skin.
Okay.
You can
so
go on
is
to the
it just
cosmetic
a
database.
skin-based type of thing?
Yeah, yes. It's not like, it's not anything
Like if you a drink
eating,
or food
yeah,
or
if you're
something.
ingesting
Okay.
anything, you have your liver, you have saliva that helps break down a lot of those
Yeah.
chemicals that could be in
So
food.
it's just like skin applied. And what's the name of the website again?
Cosmeticdatabase.com.
Okay.
So it's a great website. And the other thing that I would just say is I would recommend Ava Anderson Non-Toxic
Yes, I know.
because they just rolled out a
Yeah.
sunscreen, this past summer, and it's everything is a 0 on Cosmetic Database. All their ingredients in all of their products are a 0.
And that's the best.
That's the best. So that's my tip. Cosmeticdatabase.com. You can link it right from our website. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that good information?
I like to think so.
Yes, well, thank you so much for your fine research.
Of course.
Well, if you would like an overview of today's show, share your story, gain more tips, have questions, or find out when Skin Talk will be airing next, or most importantly, find out about Megan's great tips, visit us at www.skintalk.org.
Or you can always email us at info@skintalk.org. Thanks for watching.